Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to work on the Ferrari 458 and the sticky buttons. Let's get started. Alright, so I thought we would just focus on these three buttons here, the buttons, the auto, reverse, and I think it's power start or whatever. There is, let's see here, if I can get some light right. There are 4 Allen screws here, so we'll get those out. This thing should just pop off, and then we'll disconnect it, and then from there, we'll get it on the bench, and we'll kind of look at disassembling the buttons themselves and seeing, kind of what we're going to do and the products that we'll use. I'll show you those on the bench. So let me figure out how to remove those, and I might even focus on the window switches as well. We'll see, but at least we're going to get these done today and just see how well they show up. So kind of, it's hard to see, but they're definitely got the sticky stuff all over them, and so we're going to remove all that coating and get it just down to the button itself. So there's the focus. All right, so let me get these out real quick, and we'll get them onto the bench and show you how we're going to remove them and get started. All right, guys, I've got the 4 screws, and I think they were 3mm Allen screws. They're all the same size, so it doesn't matter which one goes where. You already see I've scratched up this button, so how bad these things are. So on the bottom here is what it looks like. So we'll get these all unplugged and then take this thing to the bench and start to unscrew it. It looks like we got a lot of hot glue and stuff that they've used, which is interesting. So we'll figure that side out, figure the best way to handle this, and then we'll get the coating taken off and get the new stuff on, and I'll show you what we'll do. So interesting, I found a couple extra. Anybody knows there is a connector here that's just not used, and then almost doesn't even look factory. Maybe it is, and then there's one other one right here. So not quite sure. I may have to kind of look to see where these are going to figure out. I'm not quite sure what they're for, so if they're even for anything, I'm not quite sure. All right, so let me get these unplugged, and then we will take it to the bench. All right, I've got the piece off, and we're on the workbench. Now what I ended up doing was, there's 2 screws that held on these little where the wires connected to the little electronic circuit board. So I just unscrewed those. Looks like those connectors are, I wasn't gonna pull on them too hard, so it was easy to just take the screws off and remove them there. So now the next step is to get these buttons. They're kind of loose already, so I'm gonna have to focus on getting these black rings off, and you see the screws here. Get the black rings off, and then these buttons should just pop right off, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so what we're going to use, a couple things. So I found this company, I think they're Australian. It's called Sticky Switch Fix, and I think they have one called Sticky Switch Dash, which this is the newer product. So this thing smells citrusy, kind of like oranges, and it's a cleaner. But what I noticed is that when I use the cleaner, if you already have this peeling happening, then what you would see, it would start really just removing the whole entire coating. So the whole premise behind the sticky cleaner is that then you use this stuff called Sticky Switch Fix button coating. And the button coating's okay. It definitely fixed the stickiness, but what it does is it makes it shiny. Do you see here? Just kind of rub, you clean the sticky stuff off a little bit, and then you rub this, then you paint this coating on. I don't like it. I thought it would be an easy way to do this and not have to take the car apart, but it looks like the car's got to come apart and get it done right. So we're going to use this to clean and the alcohol to clean. And then I've got, sorry about that, the flame-proof satin clear, and I'm going to use that once I get these buttons cleaned up, because once they're clean, they're going to be shiny. So what we'll do from there is we'll use this, spray down on them, and then that'll get them a satin finish, and then it'll be perfect, and that will be more of a permanent solution to these sticky button problems. So let me get these buttons out real quick, because I'm probably going to have to use an X-Acto knife or something to cut this hot glue, and then probably have to hot glue over it once I'm done, looks like. So, but the biggest thing is don't be afraid of this stuff. Just be careful with it. That's all you have to do. So let me get these apart, and then I'll connect right back with you. All right, I've got the buttons out. It was literally, no pun intended, a hot mess. All that glue, I got to get that cleaned up. Here, let's see if you can see here, some of the switch. So I'm probably going to leave these in the barrels and just work these little silver, I'm going to call them barrels, and just work that way and get everything off and then spray them down. This one was a much easier because the way the glue was on compared to this to these other ones. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is we're going to use this sticky switch fix in one of my black rags, and we're just going to start rubbing on it and just trying to get this stuff off and get it down to its bare plastic, being careful not to rub off the letters. So let me get started, and then oh, perfect. And Parker brought me hot glue gun, so we'll use a hot glue gun to put these back, don't worry about it right now, to put these back in. So I'm going to hand him over the camera, and we're going to focus on this, and let's just see kind of what this looks like. I don't know if you will see the whole thing, but we're just going to try to just rub off and see. As you can see, let's see if we get it focused here. There we go. See, it's already starting to come off. This stuff does a wonderful job in getting them off, but it's just going to take a little while to rub all this coating and stuff off, but it's coming off fairly quick. So we'll get all of these off. As you can see here, let's see if we can make that focus. You can see here it's almost completely off now. So we're almost done with that button here. So I'm gonna get this one done, and then I'll get these other two, and then we'll show them to you before we lay on the flame-proof satin clear. All right, guys, we ended up breaking out the Q-tips, and of course using the sticky switch fix. This is not an endorsement for them. I really wouldn't recommend using their product. Maybe the button cleaner will be good, but other than that, I don't know if I would, and maybe you just get by with just regular alcohol. But just want to show you here, we've got them all off, so you can see they're shiny. So all the stuff is off. I left these in here. It's just going to be too difficult to get around these tabs. I'm just worried that I'm going to break something. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do 3 coats of the flame proof here, and then once it's done and it's fully dry, then we'll get it back into its resting place and get it back on the car and make sure that we can switch gears in the car. And well, before that, of course, I'm going to use my wife's glue gun to glue them in place when they're in here. Keep track of the screws and stuff, because some of them have 2 washers and one side may have 1. This one had 2 at the top and then 1 at the bottom. And then this one's the same way. No, this is just 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top for the power power start or whatever they call it, the launch button. So yeah, so let me go ahead and just get 3 coats, nothing to watch, just light coats, 2 light coats, and the third one a little heavier. And that's really it. And then we'll see how well they look sitting in here. All right, hang tight. All right, guys, I got 3 coats of the clear on them. The VHT, paint, so the clear satin. So I've got 3 of those. So we're just letting them finish. This is the final drying of them, and then we'll get these on, and then I'll get them put on. We'll get them glued down. I'll show you all that, and then we'll get them back in the car and see what they look like. Alrighty, guys, we have them installed, painted. I mean, they're like, it's literally like new. I mean, there's no more sticky. All that's been rubbed off and then replaced with the clear satin from VHT. And then you can see I've got the hot glue from the hot glue gun. I've got that back in the places that they were at. So that should be good. So now, really all I gotta do is get it installed in the car. So let's work on that, and then we'll come right back and we'll wrap the video up. Alrighty, guys. We have it installed. Plugged back up, everything's fine. Go ahead and press those buttons so we can hear the clickies. There we go. All right, thank you, Parker. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is hand this over to you. So we're just gonna crank it. I just wanna get it. Well, I'm not gonna be able to crank it because, all right, unplug that. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, so we'll go ahead and get it cranked. All right, so if I put it in drive, auto comes off, auto comes on. There's reverse. Perfect. Power start's not going to work until it gets up to temperature. All right, so there we go. So there you go. So all the buttons are working, and I think that is a wrap. So not too difficult to do, and I think they look really good, and all the sticky is completely gone from it. So fresh coating on them, hopefully will last for years and years to come. So guys, please like, subscribe, ring the bell. It really does help out this channel. And until the next video, God bless.